Hello and welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for May of 2023. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kell Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
And I'm Julia Mijas, and I'm in San Francisco, California. Let's take a look at what's happening in May.
Hi, Cancer. Your birthday is coming soon. If you haven't scheduled your yearly birthday reading yet, there's still time to do it before your birthday, which is the most powerful time to have it. Now, of course, you realize I'm speaking to the sun sign Cancers who might be watching this horoscope, not the rising sign Cancers. Your birthday is at a different part of the year. But getting a birthday reading before your birthday lets you ritualize your personal New Year's moment and jump into your year empowered to make it the best one ever. It also comes with fantastic affirmations you can use all year to create your best life. You'll find a link for it in the description below. Now let's take a look at your May, Cancer. So on May 1st, two things happen that are particularly interesting. One of them is that Pluto goes retrograde. The other is that Juno changes signs. But let's look at Pluto first. Here he is, and Pluto moved into Aquarius some time ago and moves retrograde sometime between May 1st and 2nd, depending on your time zone. And when Pluto goes retrograde, he begins to take us on an underworld journey to discover what needs transforming within us. And so if you're having a Pluto transit this year, Pluto's traveling between 27 degrees of Capricorn and 0 degrees of Aquarius, then this is really a signal that you're about to go deeper and just really look into transforming something. There may be something that you have to let go of and release in order to move on. Pluto transits can be really, really good for healing deep traumas that have been getting in your way. Now I want to talk about Juno. Juno is changing signs on May 1st, and here she is entering into your 12th house. And Juno is an asteroid goddess to do with relationship. And she particularly has to do with partnerships that are long-term and committed, and those can be personal, as in a marriage, for example, or they can be professional, as in running a consultancy where you serve clients one-on-one, or having a business partnership, or leading teams of people too. So Juno is moving into the 12th house, though, which does suggest that your social life wants to take a bit of a back seat, and that you might not want to be the biggest networker in the room for a little while Juno is traveling along through this house. She usually spends about 2 months passing along through a given house. And so you might be feeling kind of socially introverted, especially at the beginning of the month, while Venus is here too. And even through the end of the month and into next month, you might want to spend some time alone and get some space from any committed relationship that you might be in, sort of reevaluate it from your own camp. Or you might want to spend time alone together with your partner. And especially if you're married, you might rather, just hang out at home. And also this would be a really great time for doing some kind of a retreat together, or engaging in something spiritual that you share. So that could be a really great use of Juno passing along through your 12th house. And then what I want to tell you is, hooray, hooray, Ceres is going direct. So here she is retrograde. And then May 6th, May 7th, again, depending on your time zone, she finally goes direct. She's been retrograde since February, early February, and now is going direct finally. And so Ceres has taken us on an inward journey to rebalance our finances. Also, perhaps our relationship with food, eating, diet, and physical body maintenance. And so things may have been a little bit messy in these areas in the last couple of months. Things may have gotten pretty tangled up. And in your case, especially because, and I warned you about this in last month's horoscope, Ceres being in your third house suggests that you might experience her themes in ways that are a little bit more intellectually abstract. In other words, you might think a lot about how to change your diet, but not take any concrete action about, to do anything about it. And so if you've made all kinds of plans and then gotten distracted and surfed on over to Noom or the Whole30 to see if you would want to make a dietary change like that, but then got distracted by those really cute squishies over on the side of the page or whatever, I just have to tell you that Ceres is now ready, because she's direct, she's now ready to travel over the ground that she covered in a retrograde fashion and to just kind of, finish out this cycle for the year. So if you haven't put any of those great ideas into practice, now would be the time to do so. Hey, Julia. What's up with Mercury, Venus, and Mars for the Cancers of the world?
Well, hey there, Cancer. If you've been listening to our last month's video, you know that Mercury is retrograde this month. And a retrograde Mercury means that from our parent perspective on Earth, it appears to be moving backwards in the sky. And this is happening in your 11th house of friends, groups, and long-term goals. So you might be dealing with miscommunications among your buddies, or maybe in any of the groups that you're a part of, anywhere where you find yourself among a constellation of people. And this can also be a time where you're kind of like rethinking some of your long-term goals. Traditionally, this is the house of hopes, wishes, and dreams. So it's the goals that take some time to realize. Now, May 1st will be an interesting day because Mercury will be exactly conjoined the sun. And since it's retrograde, we call that lesser epiphany day versus when it's direct, when it's greater epiphany day. So this is a kind of an important time to keep track of because you might have some revelations, in the fog of confusion that you've been over the past, week, maybe even a little bit longer. And these revelations might affect where you've been having miscommunications and how you've been reviewing your goals. Now, by May 14th, Mercury will finally go direct in this house, so you can make a little bit more forward progress in all things friends and hopes, wishes, and dreams. And then Venus, the planet of art, beauty, and relationship, she begins and spends the first week of the month in your 12th house. When she's in the 12th, she's not such a showy Venus. She doesn't want to go out and have everyone look at her. She wants to spend a little bit more time at home with her partner. I think the 12th house can also be the wilderness too. So if you guys, if you're in a relationship, this could be a wonderful time to go out for a hike on your own or camp by yourselves, for example, if you like that sort of things. Retreats are also ruled by the 12th house, or maybe just getting an Airbnb by the beach. That could also totally fit the mark there. But by May 7th, Venus enters your first house. And this is when Venus wants to be looked at a little bit more. So the first house is the house of self. And when Venus comes into this house, fabulous time, especially for single Cancers out there. Maybe for the last month while Venus was in the 12th, they've been thinking about dating and thinking about relationships, but haven't quite crossed the threshold into action. Well, this is a much better time for the single Cancerians to date because they're looking extra good. And then all Cancerians, if you're single or in a relationship, wonderful time to get some headshots done, get your hair done, do anything to make your outer appearance more pretty because Venus is going to help you with that. Now, Mars also starts off in your first house. So he's there along with Venus. With Mars and Venus in the first house together, they cross over kind of mid-month. This is a very sort of sexually dynamic placement to have those two planets in the first. You might be putting out some more sexual animal magnetism than usual. But Mars in the first, can be a little pushy, can be a little overly direct, can be a little foot and mouth. So learn to kind of slow your rolls if you can, because you might be quick on the trigger with Mars in the first. But by the 20th, Mars goes into your second, where he'll be for the rest of the month. This is a house of money. This is a house of possessions, and you might be very impulsive with how you spend money. You also might get really annoyed if somebody else tells you what to do with your money or your stuff. That might cause you to flare up. Like if your partner is going, honey, I don't think you need to buy another pair of black boots because you already have a dozen black boots in the closet. I mean, you might just lose it. And Mars in the second can be really, really driven to getting more money, making more money. So maybe there are ways that you can sort of, put some actions in towards increasing the material sphere of your life with this transit.
I love that bit about the black boots.
Yeah, well, we all have those moments in
So
relationships.
visual. It's so true. So true. Sometimes finding ourselves on both sides of that over time. Hi, Jamie here. I just wanted to say thank you for watching this video. And if you're enjoying it, please consider becoming a patron on Patreon. Your support helps keep this content free, and you can also get access to workshops where I will cast your chart live in the workshop. The link can be found in the description below. Thanks again, and let's get back to the video. Okay, so here's 2 moons that we have coming up this month. The first one happens on May 5th. It's a full moon and lunar eclipse in Scorpio. This one is going to be really intense. It is a lunar eclipse, and that definitely makes it even more intense. It's a releasing eclipse. Here's the moon next to the south node. That makes it a releasing eclipse. And it's landing in your 5th house. Now, we're calling this moon, you are not in control. And that's really because this moon is loaded with a feeling of vulnerability, perhaps maybe a little bit prone to feeling attacked. And it's also dealing with several planets over here in Taurus in your 11th house that are rather stubbornly placed in Taurus. And the 11th house being a house of community, groups, and friends, it wouldn't be surprising if under this moon, you felt a little bit touchy, a little bit like any ego blows that might come your way are just more intense than usual, and like you just have to lash out. And then you might find your friends, staring at you impassively as if to say, why can't you be calm like we are? So yeah, this is a pretty intense moon, loaded with feeling, and potentially pretty transformative as well. It could be an occasion for releasing a lot of old feelings. Particularly, they might be even feelings about yourself and how you come off to the world, your personal brand, like a sense of your confidence in yourself. Really, it might allow you to release some crappy old feelings that have been getting in the way of you being as completely confident as you can be. And so that can be a very good thing, but I don't think it's going to happen in a very easy way. Not like the second moon this month, which is happening on the 19th. And this one is a new moon in Taurus, and you can see it right here, moon and sun together at 28 degrees in the 11th house. This one we're calling gradual transformation fuels intuitive action. This moon is all harmony, no stress. Wonderful harmony coming from Pluto, coming from Neptune, from Mars, and also Ceres. So much harmony. This moon is really smooth, really calm, really tranquil, and also a really good time to begin something solidly. This moon is landing in your 11th house, again, of community, friends, networks, tribe. And under this moon, you could, for example, find your way to a new community or a new group of friends, or build a new friendship, or plant the seeds for a new friendship that really has sticking power. So this moon is lovely, and it can bring changes which don't even hurt. Then the last thing I want to tell you about is the seasonal change, which is coming on the 21st. And on the 20th, as late as the 20th, the sun is still here in your 11th house with this very big pile of things in Taurus, emphasizing your 11th house. So really amping up your social life at the beginning of the month. And then as the sun moves into Gemini and into your 12th house, some of the attention just begins to shift away from that social flurry and into the more internal worlds of the 12th house. So as the sun moves into the 12th house, and while it's passing along through the 12th house for about a 30-day period, starting on the 21st of May, it's a really good time to pull inward, to become a little bit more introverted, to maybe go on a retreat, like a meditation retreat, to kind of reevaluate who you are and where you center. And if you're a creative person, this can be a really wonderful time for taking, traveling in your imagination and bringing the fruits of those journeys into the physical world. So if you write, or if you sculpt, or you paint, or decorate figurines that you then use in your D&D campaigns, doesn't really matter. This is a really great month for anything creative and playful that is more fantasy based, or that could take you on a kind of an inward journey into the imagination.
Well, that's all for today. If you love Pandora Astrology's free and informative horoscopes, please do hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share our horoscopes with your friends.
We make these horoscopes for you for free, and if you appreciate it, supporting us on Patreon is the best way to show it. Share our horoscopes with your friends too. Enjoy your May, and until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos.
Bye-bye.